So I wanted to buy a macro remote for my Tron tablet, but it is literally $100 fucking. Fuck that. So instead, I just bought a number pad and turned to a macro pad. So I know a lot of keyboard elitists would, go against spray lubing, but I'm not really an expert at keyboards, and I don't really have a soldering kit. So instead, what I'm gonna do is spray lubing it and fixing on the stabilizers. Stabilizers. So I bought this off Amazon for about $32. I mean, it was pretty cheap for the Switch inside. There are cheaper options, but from what I've seen, they literally look like fucking calculators. Most people online recommend using Superlube. You can use WD-40, but you want to use the dry lube one, not the regular one, because if you use the regular one, it will fuck up your PCB. Shaking the can before every spray is extremely important, because if you don't shake, all the lube is going to do is clog up the contact point on the switch and it's not going to register. So what you want to do is press down on the switch as far as you can go, and you put the straw in one of the corners. I suggest only spraying once or twice. Usually once is enough, but if it's not only not so much to the point where it's like overflowing, you want to like overflow a little bit so the springs actually get in contact with the lube, but not so much that it's like literally drowning your keyboard. When you're done spraying your keys, I suggest leaving your keys to dry for about 1 to 3 hours. Usually I recommend a whole day just to make sure that everything's dry inside, but 1 to 3 hours should be fine. After letting it dry for an hour or so, you can test if the keys work. If it doesn't work immediately, you can let it dry for another 2 to 3 days usually to really let it dry, but most of the time it's gonna work. When lubing the stabilizers, you're gonna wanna get a small little tweezer like this one and some dielectric grease, which you can get for very cheap. You wanna use the tweezers and slowly pull up on the little stabilizer sides. When it's fully up, you can use the dielectric grease and go in and spread a little bit on the little wires inside. I'm not gonna demonstrate because I already did it, but it's pretty straightforward, and yeah. What I did after was map each individual key to a different command for my program to use. I'm not gonna show you how to do it because I'm just too fucking lazy. The program I'm using is called HID macros. I'm pretty sure you can find a lot of tutorials online of how to remap your macros, and it's honestly not that hard. Although it seems very time consuming, but it is very cheap to actually do. All you gotta really need to do is clean up after yourself because it gets really fucking disgusting. To be honest, I've used a couple of hand lubed switches, and comparing that to spray lubing, I mean, I don't know the longevity of the switches, but honestly it sounds almost the same.